Hello, my name's Tori Riley, and I'm going to be presenting on transgender athletes competing in sports. Now, raise your hand if you've ever played a sport. So most of you, I'm assuming, have played a sport before. Now imagine if the people that you were competing against, you had no chance of ever beating. That's how some biological females are feeling while competing against transgender female athletes. Have you noticed on the news recently that female to male transgender athletes have been dominating their competition? This is a very heated topic in today's society that has everyone talking. More transgender athletes have been competing in sports due to the support and welcoming people in the LGBTQ+ movement. In the early 1900s, athletes had to be checked by a medical professional to identify their genders in order to compete. This was to ensure that men didn't sign up as women to have the upper hand. In 2004, the IOC, or the International Olympic Committee, passed a rule that allows transgender athletes to compete as long as they've undergone 2 years of hormone therapy. Chris Mossier was the first transgender athlete to ever compete on the Team USA. In recent years, younger transgender athletes have been competing in high school sports, such as Mac Beggs, the two-time Texas 110-pound wrestling champion. She takes testosterone, and that gives her an unfair advantage over the other females she competes against. Andrea Yearwood placed first place in the 100-meter dash and in the 200-meter dash. She also placed second place at the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference behind another transgender athlete. Now take a few moments to discuss with your table as many biological differences between men and women as you can. Most people don't understand that the biological man has a greater advantage over any women in sports due to their biological makeup. Here are just a few of some of the advantages men have.
I've already just kind of outlined the fact that they go through puberty. If a young boy goes through puberty, he has increased lung capacity, he has higher red blood cell count, he has a different skeletal system, a smaller, narrower pelvis, which helps certainly on a bike. He has muscle memory from the testosterone that's been in his system, and the actual amount that they have to reduce their testosterone still makes it very high compared to the average woman. So there is a lot of residual values that carry on, and therefore makes it unfair. You know, we don't see transgender women that transition over to men competing against men because they're at a disadvantage, and then the opposite happens with women. They end up with an advantage, and that's what we're not so happy about. So we just want to have open, clear debates. We want to get the
So, if a girl were to arm wrestle a guy at your table, she would probably lose to the guy's biological makeup. Try it yourself, but be careful. Female athletes are going to start getting very discouraged and lose interest in their sports due to not having any fair competition.
When it was time to tell their parents that they're transgender, they each revealed it by text, and now they have gone public with it, and they're facing opposition from people who say even though you may feel like a girl, you need to compete against the boys.
Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood dominating the competition at the Girls Track and Field Championships in Connecticut earlier this month. coming in first and second place, respectively. And while it was a state race, their wins are making national headlines, not because of what they did, but because of who they are, two transgender girls.
My band-aid solution for evening out the playing field for female athletes is to educate the public on the differences between biological females and males. Utilizing the workplace and school setting is a great way to educate the public on the differences. Also, using public figures that hold power and people trust is a great way to educate, and using social media as a big platform. Eventually, it would be most fair to have all transgender athletes compete against each other, just like the deaf can and the paraplegics can. This will even out the playing field. Overall, the public must be educated about the real differences between men and women and need to understand that the competition is not fair.